Welcome to Conversations with Toy, a blogcast tackling life one episode at a time. This is the time to air out life's craziest moments. This space is all about speaking about life's hang-ups and ways in which we can leave better than when we started. Topics are all about ways we can find space to be better in life, love, mental space, and health.
Hold on, it's not Friday. This is a bonus episode of Conversations with Toy, and we have such a unique opportunity. Have you ever heard of Jane? It's an Emmy Award-winning, mission-driven series for kids and families inspired by the work of world-renowned ethologist and conservationist Dr. Jane Goodall, DBE, a founder of the Jane Goodall Institute and a United States Messenger of Peace. And Jane, which is the show, Ava Louise Murchison, who is Reacher, stars as Jane Garcia, a 9-year-old budding environmentalist on a quest to save endangered animals. And using her powerful imagination, Jane takes her best friends David, played by Mason Blomberg of Shameless, and Greybeard, the chimpanzee, on an epic adventures to help protect wild animals all around the world. And according to her idol, Dr. Jane Goodall, only if we understand will we care. Only if we care will we help. Only if we help can they be saved. So with that amazing description, Jane is actually on Apple TV Plus. And this is their season 3. So if you've missed season 1 through 2, get prepared and ready for season 3. This is going to be an absolute amazing show. It's already out, so if you have Apple Plus, make sure that you tune in. But on today's bonus episode, we are talking to JJ Johnson. He is the creator, showrunner, executive producer, and director and writer. JJ Johnson is the creative force and founding partner of Sinking Ship Entertainment, where he has created and executive produced 17 series. Johnson is a 3-time Emmy Award-winning director and 3-time Emmy-nominated writer with over 550 episode credits. He has also won 2 overall production Emmys for programs he created, which is Dino Dan in 2010 for Outstanding Preschool Children's Series in 2015, and Giver for 2012 for Outstanding Education or Informational Series in 2018. Johnson has been listed on both The Hollywood Reporter and Playback's top 10 lists, and his groundbreaking series also sold to over 200 territories worldwide. He is also the co-chair of the Youth Media Alliance in Canada. So when I tell you that this conversation regarding the show Jane, which I have to keep saying, it is on Apple TV Plus. It's out now and you can see it. It's an amazing story watching these children take environmental issues, the issues of resolving animals, and how we can do our part to save the world that we live in, and talking about mental health as well. I absolutely enjoyed this conversation, and I know that you will too. So without any further ado, let's welcome JJ Johnson to the Conversation with Toy family.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Toy, obviously, as we have just learned. And I'm so grateful for you being here and talking with me.
Oh, thanks for having
me. So my questions are going to be really easy for you today. As an executive producer now in season 3, how does that make you feel that, one, you're able to showcase children really just taking control? How does that make you feel?
Hopeful, honestly. Like this show really was inspired by having my own kids. And this is a few years ago, being in the delivery room, seeing that innocent face, and then immediately feeling like, oh my gosh, what planet are they inheriting? There's so many problems, and trying to figure out what I can do to cause some kind of real world change. And so that drove me to go back to what made me feel comfortable as a kid, which was reading about Dr. Jane Goodall and all of the great work that she was doing. And so I immediately reached out to their organization with a pitch, and they have been so welcoming. And so to build, like you said, across these 3 seasons to our finale, which features Dr. Jane Goodall, just feels like we've done, a full circle. Yeah, there you go.
Yes. So now that you're at season 3, what do you think is some of the key things that you've learned along the way that has taken you from like season 1, when you were starting out and putting this to life, and now you're at season 3? What are some key things that you feel like you've learned?
it's kind of a recurring theme. The one quote that I stumbled upon from Dr. Goodall that really cemented the construction of this show was she has this quote where it's only if we understand will we care, only if we care will we help, only if we help can all be saved. And I think it lends itself so perfectly to a narrative structure where, we need to understand what the animal is going through. We need to relate to their challenges and see ourselves in them. And once that starts to happen, there's no way that you can't care about their struggles because we try to mirror the animal situations with, our kids' lives and see that we're all kind of connected. And then when you care about something, it's impossible to not want to help. And so we just wanted to make sure that we did that within our episodes. And then by partnering with the Jane Goodall Institute and particularly their Roots and Shoots organization, that kids and families, if they were ignited on this subject and wanted to do something, they had an immediate path that they could go to with groups of people that are waiting to help them to do whatever environmental change they want to make.
Awesome. Now, it's a challenge because you're working with children. What are some of the things, because these children are amazing. First of all, they have to be amazing on off screen as they shine through on screen. So what challenges have you experienced in these seasons?
It's funny. There's this quote about like never work with kids and animals, and that's kind of exclusively what we do, although the animals in this show are VFX. But I love working with kids. Like I think they bring an enthusiasm to set where they're there to have fun. There's no ego. I think kids are amazing because they're looking for ways to maximize their fun each and every day. And so you just want to lean into that. I think, with both of them, they readily took on the message of this show and, were either becoming vegetarian or partnering with Roots and Shoots to do initiatives or working in their own community. And so I can't say that there was a real struggle. I mean, also in this show, they have to pretend to see lions or elephants or whatever. And sometimes adults can find that a little hard, but kids, when they're pretending, they see those things. And so
already, right.
Like, yeah, they can tap into it. And immediately they're like, off we go. There's the elephant. There's the lion that's coming in here. It's just like playing each day. So not too many challenges, really just a lot of fun.
Just so you know, I can absolutely tell you love what you do. Like your whole face is lit up as you're discussing this, and I love that.
No, it's a
I
privilege.
often talk. I often talk about mental health and wellness is a big part of what I do. How have you been able to help make sure your health and mental health and wellness is secure? Because just because the kids are great, just because the action and the theme behind it is a great purpose. Personally, how have you been able to take care of yourself as you're putting this entire show together now that we're in season 3?
I mean, that's a great question because I will admit, like, the researching of these episodes is tough because you're looking at animals that are down to sometimes under 1,000 and the challenges they face and, the complications of the environment they live in and the people pressures and all of that stuff. And it did, by the third season, I was actually losing my hope and it was hard to kind of pretend on set. And so I leaned into it and I'm lucky to have a job where creatively I can. And so our finale episode deals with our Jane character losing hope and getting to meet her idol, Dr. Jane Goodall. And in the script, I'm like, and Dr. Jane shares why we should be hopeful. We sent that script off. And of course, she writes, this most beautiful piece about when she feels hopeless, what she thinks about. And I needed to hear it. And so it was, it was one of those moments where, again, it just brought it kind of full circle for me, how important she is as a person, how she has inspired so many, and how that reminder of like not losing our hope despite all of the challenges is key and that we're not alone. And I think that's something that she says a lot. And that certainly got me through, the challenges that the world's facing right now.
Absolutely. One last question as we finish this up is what one animal that you guys have brought on to the show that may have mirrored something that you may have wanted to work with as a kid? Like as a kid, you may have thought like, this is the animal. What animal is that?
I mean, honestly, all of them. I would say that chimpanzees, which is again in our final episode, well, actually in elephants too. I don't know. There's certain species that are so like us in terms of how they treat one another, how they form community. I mean, elephants bury their dead. Like there's just things that to me, it's so easy to see how we all share this planet, how we all have one home and that we really need to work together to protect it. So I would say like between elephants and chimpanzees, which are in the finale season, are probably the two that were the most close to my heart. But honestly, I fell in love with each, even like ants when we were talking about them. I had no idea how sophisticated ants are and their structures.
They
and
are.
like
They're hard workers.
Yes, you know what I mean? Like it blows my mind. So I learned a little bit of something in each episode.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for your time and meeting with me. And I can't wait to everyone else to see season 3. And it's just amazing to be able to speak with you.
Oh, Toy, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So what did you think of today's episode? It is absolutely amazing when you get to have a conversation with someone who absolutely loves what they do. Isn't that like the goal for all of us, to love what we do? Jane is in this season 3, and there's going to be so many more animals that are going to come on this season. So as you heard, get ready for a little chimpanzee, a little bit of elephants, all kind of different things are happening. But the biggest takeaway is that children really do have the power, their ability to have their imagination, their ability to be in the world that we live in, especially with how life is going right now, and to be able to see the positivity in the world. And when they, even as they lose their focus, just like we learned with this podcast episode, is that we always can do the best that we can by refocusing and shifting our thoughts to what's more important. And right now, what's important is to do the work. Doing the work, and even for children, doing their work is a beautiful thing to see. So again, I cannot stress enough, if you have not seen Jane, it is in season 3 on Apple TV Plus. Make sure that you see it now and let me know what you think. I just want to say thank you to JJ Johnson for being a part of the Conversations with Toy family. Make sure that you catch the show because, again, you can catch it on Apple TV+. I want to also thank Allied for allowing this to happen. And I want you to make sure that you take some little nuggets of knowledge that we learned today about how we can do better with the world that is around us. Have the most amazing week. And I will talk with you next week on Conversations with Toy.
Thank you as always for joining me, and I know that even in the deepest or joyful conversations that there's something we can learn and apply. Until next time, I hope that you are doing better. If not, we will be back to talk some more and handle it. Peace to you and yours. Stay grounded.